All right, so we need a ring on each side, so this should be pretty easy. We'll just glue. Always. These aren't soldered because they don't have tongues to worry about falling off. So pretty simple. And I'm not going to make it a D because I have 2 straps that I need on here. I need one to go to the saddle and one to go down to the girth ring. So not used to that falling over. I've already skived here just to thin the fold over. So when we do this fold over, it's not as thick. Alright. Let's see. So we're going to go ahead and glue the lining on. My dogs are shedding, so it's just feel like I got dog hair everywhere. Just that time of year, they just drop their coat. Alright, so I'm going to fold this in half. Make sure it's going in the right direction because there's a contour. And then we're going to fold this in half. And that should help me get it centered. No, because I had it upside down. Stupid. Try that again. So I said, make sure they go in the same direction. Okay. Alright. Now I got glue on my fingers. This particular lining that I'm using is really stretchy, so I stretched it out. That's my fault. But it resists glue on this side, so it's easy to scratch that off. And you want it just a little bit over so you can see the lining. That's a look. If you like the look, you can make it, you can trim it if you want. Okay, and because it stretched on me when I removed the paper, I'm going to have to trim that. And yes, it's underneath the rings. And that's so the rings don't rub on the animal. You don't want metal rubbing on your animal. The animal, real life animal, wouldn't want that either. So that's why it's a little bit over. Now, another thing you could do for lining, you want to make it more obvious, is you could line it in craft felt. So I could cut this out, trace it, cut it out, put that on, and you would want that to show, right? You could also use a white suede if you have it. It's hard to find white suede. I bought some years ago. I use a little bit at a time. I still have it. But, yeah. A couple other ideas. All right. And the last thing we're going to do is edge coat. And you can use an actual edge coat, which is fine. But in this case where there's so little here, and I don't really want to get out the paintbrushes and all of that yada yada, I am just going to use a Sharpie. And I'm going to go ahead and get the both of these at the same time. And this is just a little detail that will make it look more real. People won't notice that you did it, but they will notice if you didn't. That's the kind of detail it is. They'll know something is wrong, because you always edge coat your tooling leather. And sometimes I'll do the, like here I'm doing the lining. So I just want it all to blend in and look finished. Right? It has to look like somebody cared. There we go. Probably could trim that a little off there. Point is to just get the edge. And get that ring out of the way. Alright, so now how do we attach it? So we're going to make buckle straps. And I'm going to make 4 of them because I want 2 for each side. It's going to have 2 attachments. And these buckles, just a little big for this, but I wanted square, not round, edged. So and then you'll say, how long should they be? Good question. I could really do with a manicure. My nails are so ratty right now. So here's how you would measure it. Put those back. Now you could sticky wax this breast collar in place, but it's going to go right here, right? And the dip, it's just to make sure you don't strangle the horse there. And so we're going to go from here to there, and we could go here to there or here to there, whichever way you prefer. Now I prefer this because then, actually it's leather, so it probably doesn't matter. We can go from there to there, and we can go from there to there. This one, okay. So we want to get it kind of close here to where it's going to lay. And then you hold sticky wax, whatever. Take a little bit of that. Hold that down. And that way I can get some decent measurements. Okay, so from there to there, right? And I need, for this I'm going to need for it to go all the way through the buckle, all the way to the buckle, through the buckle, and then back again. So that's going to be my length, right about there. It doesn't have to be all the way back. And I'll go ahead and cut it this way. And then if I want to go to, in the pattern book I have you going through this one up here. This actually seems to hold better, so I'm going to do that on this one. So from there to there is 1, 2, and not quite to that end, so right about there, that's 3. Alright, so now I can do this. I can make a twin of this one. Give myself about that much fold over for the buckle. That's my other one. And I'll use this other side because it has a point. And then a little extra for the fold over. I had to file this down after I did those pinheads. Get a point back on again. I was very disappointed in that. Alright, so let's see. I think that's the extra. Yeah. All right. And you know, when you do buckles, you go over the center bar like that. Taught a class once and they didn't know that's how you made a buckle, so that's how you make a buckle, over the center bar. There's my long ones. Now this lace here is the I have to find my spool. This came off my spool and I skived it. Sometimes I skive ahead because I'm just in the skiving zone, and then I just keep going until I accidentally skive through. And this ended up being a really long piece, so I've been able to use it on a lot of stuff. Sometimes you just get in the skiving zone. Okay, now we need to do the keepers. And this is to tidy it up. So we're going to start, that one goes there. Oops, yep, that's the right way. Make sure you got your dip down. So that's about right. I mean, it's a little tight. We can fit it a little bit later. Right now we just want to get our keepers in place. So give myself some room. Now these are all sliding keepers. And so I'll flip that over. And you want to see how that goes over like that. This is why being able to thin your leather lace is so important, because we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of leather there, and if you don't have it skived, that's where it gets really bulky. That's your third dimension just looks off. And I did not mean to do that. Where I need that is right here. So that goes over. That goes over. 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1000. There you go. And then we'll trim the extra. Right? And then just make sure it moves, and it does, so it's good. Then we need another one behind the buckle. And this is already 3 layers right there. I want it to just a little bit more than. It's really hard to see that, but it's hanging over just a little bit over these laces here. It just hangs over a little bit. So that's why the glue, see where the glue is? The glue is going to go on the hangover part and up and over. Alright, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1000. Now we'll go ahead and... Oh, you're making me look bad. Alright, I'm going to rock the pain in the butt mode. I can play. There we go. Alright, so that's one, right? And now we take the short one, we're going to do the same thing. Usually always the straps are back towards the saddle. This is what I've seen. They don't go forward, they go backwards. I can't tell you why. Maybe the wind when they're moving, gravity, I don't know. I didn't make this decision. See, and you can see now that's why I have a substantial ring there, is that I want to be able to accommodate the 2 straps. Alright, back to keepers. And again, it'll be one in front of the buckle. 1, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1000. I'm going to give you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just because you've been a little difficult. We'll let that be. We're not going to adjust it yet. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so I know he's laying down, so you don't get to see gravity work on this, but yes, I would put it here later maybe. It looks okay right there. It's actually falling right. And that would still work because we don't want it tight here. We want the horse to be able to breathe. And gravity would actually drop it down, so we don't want it to chafe him unless for whatever reason it falls back, right? So that, so that's about how we want it right now. And the next step, that's going to be our breeching back here. So So that's what it looks like when I'm in the skiving zone.